We're all honored to be here during this time, this fragile time in our Earth. It's time to follow your integrity as closely as you can. Finally, in Madge's letter, we are disturbed by your staff's approval of the MMP. It comes after months of closed-door meetings with Caltrans. The public was barred not only from observing the meetings, but from ever seeing any draft of the document until it was declared a fait accompli. Even with the best of intentions, regulatory agencies can gradually be entrained in coding their mandate under persistent pressure, and in this case, likely misinformation from those pursuing their own interests. We don't believe the public interest is being well served. Thank you.
Thank you. Madge Strong. And can someone help her lift up the pictures? I think
That's
would be
okay.
helpful.
When they get there.
Yes. Thank you, board members. I'm Madge Strong. I'm also from Willits. It's been mentioned, Caltrans has a very long record of misinformation, especially in, I'm familiar with regard to this project. They misrepresented the traffic numbers grossly, enormously. They outright lied about the Federal Highway Administration requiring them to design this as a 4-lane freeway. The FHWA required no such thing, but that lie was used in getting the agency approvals as well as in the federal court. And it was simply, once we got the Public Records Act, it was a lie. They have misrepresented the difference between Phase 1 and Phase 2 in their letters to Senator Noreen Evans. They convinced many different officials that we were trying to rebut these claims, that it was impossible to modify the contract once it was awarded to the joint venture. They claimed that any revision in that plan would require starting over from scratch, getting new funding, doing new EIRs, and would require a minimum of 6 months to 1 year of delay. All of that is simply not true. They also more recently claimed to our Congressman Jared Huffman that changing the project now would require them to go back and remove bridges and other facilities costing millions of dollars when they, if ever, come back and do Phase 2, which we think is actually a pipe dream. But it is not true that it would require those things. Now, in this most recent MMP, they are attempting to claim the 29.49 acres as compensation for temporal loss, when in fact that acreage was already part of the previous commitment to mitigate the wetlands that were being destroyed. So they can't double count it. We just are stunned that Caltrans has so far gotten away with just making this stuff up out of nowhere. We, on the other hand, we're just plain old citizens, but we have done our homework. We can document the rebuttals and the facts that we have presented. We think that should count. We should count it a lot. If Caltrans is allowed to continue just building this north end of the project, this is the rape that has been going on. This is just at Hale Creek, one location. You have photos that have been submitted, enormous amount of damage that's been done. But if they're allowed to continue this, it will be a monument not only to their misguided vision of the future, but it will also be a permanent testament to the failure of the integrity and courage of agencies such as yours and the officials that have the power to stand up for this change that's so simple. For us, this project is like watching a rape that's taking place right in our faces, and that we have not been able to stop. They have already raped Hale Creek, as I mentioned, perhaps beyond any redemption. I implore you, do not let them do it to the north part of the valley as well. These are very precious resources, and allowing them to rape and bury these wetlands, all of that green area there, is just unconscionable. These are spawning grounds. This is Outlet Creek. This is where all of the water of all the creeks goes at the north end of Willits. Do not allow yourselves to be complicit in both the lies and the destruction that's involved when there is this very simple
Your
alternative.
time is up, so you gotta
Yes.
sum up.
So this is the very simple alternative. This is what Caltrans wants to do for a two-lane project. This is what's possible. So this is so heartfelt from us that you have authority that we don't have. Please do something to not allow this to happen. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. I had one question. We have a card from Robert Gitlin, and is it on this, the Willits issue? Didn't mark what issue. Okay, so we're in. And can you tell me what issue it's regarding?